Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. A trade deal with the EU, a media merger in Hollywood, Democrats' approval rating hits a new low, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump announced a trade agreement with the European Union after a brief meeting with EU President Ursula von der Leyen on Sunday at the Trump Turnberry Golf Course in Scotland. The deal, which sets a 15% tariff on most goods coming from Europe, closes days before the looming Friday deadline when Trump promised 30% tariffs. The deal also involves Europe purchasing $150 billion worth of U.S. energy and adding $600 billion in other investments into the U.S. Von der Leyen and Trump addressed the media before their closed-door conversation, saying there was a 50-50 chance of reaching a deal. After it was struck, Trump said, "I think it's the biggest deal ever made." Trump emphasized the need for fairness in the trade deal with its largest trading partner, with von der Leyen agreeing to rebalancing what Trump called a one-sided trade relationship. Israel parachuted some aid into Gaza on Saturday, followed by Jordan and the UAE on Sunday, as international reports of malnutrition and starvation in the territory drew condemnation globally. The Israel Defense Forces said it would implement tactical pauses daily in 3 areas with large populations to increase the scale of humanitarian aid, beginning this past Friday and continuing until further notice. The pause also allowed additional aid trucks to deliver supplies, but the UN warned more must be done to stave off famine and a catastrophic health crisis. The World Health Organization reported that of the 74 malnutrition-related deaths recorded in Gaza this year, 63 occurred this month. Tens of thousands of people fled their homes in Thailand on Friday as border fighting between Thailand and Cambodia escalated, leading to fears of a wider war in Southeast Asia. The UN Security Council was scheduled to hold an emergency meeting on the crisis late Friday in New York, while nations in the region offered to mediate to end the fighting. At issue is a disputed area of the border between the two countries that first flared up in May, but surged anew on Thursday after a landmine explosion wounded 5 Thai soldiers and led to an exchange of gunfire, artillery, and rockets. The fighting has killed at least 14 civilians in Thailand, while Cambodia confirmed its first death on Friday. Ghislaine Maxwell was granted limited immunity by the Justice Department during 2 days of interviews about her ties to Jeffrey Epstein, her lawyer confirmed. Speaking with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Maxwell reportedly named around 100 people connected to Epstein's criminal network. Her lawyer emphasized that the immunity only applies if she tells the truth and denied that any deal was requested in return. President Trump asked about a potential pardon while in Scotland, said he hadn't thought about it and distanced himself from the DOJ's decision. The U.S. Department of Education will release $5.5 billion in frozen funds. The Trump administration said it plans to release the grant money, which had previously been approved by Congress but was withheld from schools as part of a funding freeze at the beginning of the month, while the administration reviewed the allocation. With the new school year approaching, the money will now be available to support English language instruction, adult literacy, and other programs. Another $1.3 billion of funds for after-school and summer programming was unfrozen last week. The freeze was challenged by lawsuits, and lawmakers from both parties had also urged the funds release. Democrats' approval rating with registered voters has plunged to a 35-year low, while Republicans maintain an edge on most of the top issues Americans care about, according to a new poll. A whopping 63% of registered voters view Democrats unfavorably, dramatically eclipsing the 33% who had a positive impression, marking the lowest rating they scored since 1990, according to a Wall Street Journal survey. That abysmal rating for Democrats comes against the backdrop of lackluster figures for President Trump and Republicans. Trump's approval rating sits at 46%, with 52% who disapprove of the commander-in-chief. The figure is higher than this point during his first term, which was 40%. Republicans' approval rating clocked in at a net 7 points unfavorable. If congressional elections were held today, 46% of voters indicated they'd back a Democrat, compared to 43% who would support a Republican. The Federal Communications Commission has cleared the way for David Ellison's Skydance Entertainment to acquire Paramount Global. The federal agency, led by Brendan Carr, said on Thursday that it approved the transfer of Paramount's broadcast license to Skydance, the last hurdle in the review of the $8 billion deal. With the FCC approving the transfer, Skydance will be able to complete its acquisition of Paramount in short order, transforming the media landscape as Ellison takes charge of the owner of CBS, the Paramount Film Studio, Paramount Plus, and cable channels like MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.